Hey everyone, and welcome back to this channel. In this video I am going to show you what I have been doing to now care for my baby Leaftail Geckos. Now we all know basically how all baby geckos, basically all geckos, are kept, and that is in tubs. And yes, I do this myself, but to be honest, I have always said it, I don't like it, and I do not plan on keeping them this way forever. But I knew that with my Leaftail geckos I needed to do a change faster for obvious reasons. They are arboreal. And I am going to show you exactly what I was using. I was using a tub exactly like this. So this is a big tub, and you know, obviously tubs are able to maintain humidity very well. These geckos do not need extra heat. It's all about humidity. But of course they needed also ventilation, so that's why I also made a screen. But to be honest, I did do it a little bit bigger than I should have had. But regardless, you know, I did try to offer still climbing opportunities. So this setup, okay, so this tub is actually quite big. It's probably around 6 inches tall. So I was able to put you know, some decent sizes of cork in there. This was basically their only way to climb, because the only other way that I would have been able to keep it was this way, which, to be honest, I should have done that from the beginning, find a way on how to keep them this way, and probably even just do a background for this. That should have solved maybe a problem. But anyways, what I knew from the beginning was that I wanted to change the tubs. That's simple. You know, the fact that I cannot see on the inside until I take out the lid is the fact that as to why I hate tubs. Yes, they do serve their purpose, and you are able to provide everything that they need for them to just live, but I still hated them. So I was actually going through Instagram when I saw this guy using acrylic setups that are normally made for tarantulas or, you know, other spiders, and he was actually using them for his baby geckos, which is such an amazing idea, because they are completely clear and they are able to hold humidity very well. And of course they do them in all shapes and sizes. So I thought this was a really good idea. And actually, as you can see right there, I got 4 of 2 different ones, and let me show you exactly what I have. Well, these are the setups. Now, of course, they did not come this way. You know, I did make the backgrounds and put the branches in the middle myself. But anyways, you know what? These acrylic setups make a big difference in just using tubs. I mean, you know, I can see inside a little bit. It's not completely clear, not as an acrylic setup, but also a big reason as to why I want to change from tubs to you know, other kind of setups is that I want to be able to open everything from the front. So now with these setups, I am able to simply open them with no problem. You know, as I said, they're going to keep humidity really well. I'm actually only misting one time in the morning, and I actually have to be careful that I don't mist too much, because if I do mist too much, it will stay in the night for a little bit too long. But anyways, I do see my animals on a daily basis, and you know, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do and how much I do need to mist and everything. And I can actually show you babies right here. This guy is about 3 months old, I'm gonna say. Yeah, like 3 months old, and as you can see, it's a lot of space. So, you know, making this, okay, you know, getting some arboreal setups is actually their way of living. So I do think that it's a lot better. And even though I actually put this in the middle so that if just in case they want to, you know, rest from being on the walls, they barely use it. You know, the way that these guys live is actually just being stuck on something upside down. That is how I find them, you know, 95% of the time. So these little ones are 6 by 8 by 12, and these bigger ones are 6 by 8 by 14. And to be honest, you know, I love them, but especially this too. The way that they have the doors, they simply stay right there, and even if you want to lock them, they do have a locking mechanism, but I don't use it. But I really like this these setups. There are also two more guys right here. These are about 6 months old. And look at that, a lot of space. Now, just in case you're wondering as to why I didn't put them all the way down, that's because when I put, you know, what I thought was that when I put crickets right here, just in case they get out, they're not able to climb out or climb to the top. That was basically my idea. So, you know, it was around $150 for this 4, which might sounds like a lot, especially to breeders for only 4 setups, but to me, it's worth it. As I said before, just because these guys are not meant to be my pets, doesn't mean that they have to live in a bad way with me. Now, how I made these backgrounds, super simple. I did just measure everything, make sure that I didn't cover any of the holes that it has for ventilation. Just cut everything, make sure that it was make sure that it would fit, and then I simply used spray foam, and I can actually show you right there. So I simply used spray foam, and then on the edges I used silicone, and I just put a moss so that I wouldn't be able to see the silicone. And I actually also put you know, some extra pieces, as you can see right there. This is not part of the background, so you know, they are able to use that also as leverage. That is actually my holdback. That is Shadow. And he is about he is a little more than a year old already. So look at him. Quite a lot of space for a single guy. And no, I do not plan on keeping him on here his whole life. You know, I actually, what I want to do is actually get you know, 2 more of this exactly same ones, and actually try to find 2 more bigger ones, so that just in case, you know, I keep some that you know, they're with me for more than a year or 2 years, they are fully grown, I still want to give them you know, a good amount of space. But this guy, he will be in an Exoterra tank, you know, fully bioactive, or at least planted, because they do eat the isopods. But yeah, this is how I am now keeping my baby riverine Leaftail geckos. Other species are definitely able to stay on here. Actually, I would say most of the gecko babies. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I personally think that it looks awesome, and I am very satisfied with what I see, you know, in total. Well, that's gonna be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.